Okay, so we are up to the warrior cards for our the hunted review, right? So card-wise, it is actually quite nice going over the warrior cards, right? Because they are all really impactful. So obviously this first iteration of Draconic Warrior, well no, sorry, it's the first set supported iteration of Draconic Warrior, right? Because we do have Emperor, so we have all the new Draconic Warrior cards that Fang will definitely be utilizing, right? Even some of the draft filler, because you need those rares and common staples to really flesh out your deck, especially when they fit mechanically with what you're trying to do, right? Because the typing alone will sometimes help them equate to a more powerful rarity card. And then we have Warrior Wise, all of the dagger support cards. So we have gone dagger support before by way of sword/dagger cards, but they're nowhere near as impactful as the cards that are specifically balanced around daggers, because daggers and swords are not equivalent, right? So yeah, altogether, I think the Hunted Warrior set of cards, both Draconic and normal, is by far the most impactful out of the set. But nonetheless, let's go through the cards. So we have Fang Draconic Blades. Whenever you hit a marked hero, create a Filthy token. So already that is significantly more impactful, right, in my opinion, than Cindra. Because Cindra, again, I don't really feel that she necessarily needs the Filthy generation as much as Fang, because you have a couple of things going for you. One, you have your second ability clause, right? So if you control 3 or more Filthy tokens, dagger attacks cost 1 less to activate, which is highly significant. I definitely feel it's this race to generate 3 Filthy and maintain them as Fang, right? Just to have those 2 easy swings right from the get-go, right? And then, of course, we have the actual weapon, Obsidian Firevein, where you want to play a Draconic card on the same chain link in order for it to have go again, and it's +1. The +1's kind of more of a bonus, but for it to have go again, you have to play a Draconic instant or reaction card, right? So through Filthy, that means you can play any reaction or instant card. So marking, generating Filthy, and hitting your opponents, right, is just a lot more significant to me for Fang. So not only are all the dagger cards impactful, the Draconic reactions impactful, any card that marks or generates Filthy is also highly impactful for Fang's toolkit. Then, card-wise, so we have Hunt's End, 0 cost. Play this only if you control 3 or more Filthy tokens. Target dagger gets +4. Now, again, because of the dagger Obsidian Firevein, this card to me is a lot better than it necessarily should be, because 0 for 4 with a requirement, right, is a little bit understated. It should be 0 for 4 with some sort of extra effect. But then you're siphoning away the Obsidian Firevein, the +1, and the go again. So that makes it a little bit better, right? I think wording wise, to get through your head, for Obsidian Firevein, if you read it more so as the next attack action that you play, right? If it's Draconic, gets +1 and gives go again. That sort of mentality towards it, rather than it being the dagger is a 1 for 2 with go again, right? Just a way to sort of convince yourself how impactful these cards are if they're a little understated. Because again, 0 for 4, it's nothing spectacular, but in conjunction with go again at +1, 0 for 5 with go again, that's really nice, right? So Long Whisker Loyalty, bread and butter card, right? For each Draconic chain link you control, choose 1. So once you get up to 3, very, very exciting, right? Target dagger attack gets +2. You may attack with target dagger an additional time, or the next time target dagger hits a hero this turn, mark them. Worth noting, target dagger attack is the active attack, but both other clauses mean you can pick which dagger to set this up with, right? So you don't actually have to use it on the dagger you're going with straight away. You can split up the effects to try and mitigate your opponent's block, right? And get things across, right? So yeah, definitely a really nice card, again, with the 2 Obsidian Fireveins, if you are running 2 of them once you have Fang's ability all up and running. It is definitely an auto 3 of, and yeah, long standing for Draconic Warrior with daggers. Firm Loyalty. Target dagger attack gets +2. If you control 2 more Draconic chain links, create a Filthy token. So that is definitely nice for Fang, right? Filthy generation, plus a buff, and then again, the +1 and go again on the Obsidian Firevein. Now, I still like 1 Obsidian Firevein, 1 Quicksilver, but I think there is actually plenty of cards and rationale for you to take to Obsidian Firevein. The reason why I personally like Quicksilver a bit more is because you do have a lot of the warrior staples that seem nice enough to run, right? In the sense of you don't have enough Filthy, so you can dump them on Quicksilver instead of dumping them onto Obsidian Firevein, right? Especially once you go wide and we get into the additional swing cards. Endure, right? Endure, no. Endear devotion? Endear devotion. I don't know why I was struggling with that. I don't think I've seen that word before, weirdly. Heard it, but yeah. Target dagger attack gets +3, right? So it's now 1 cost instead of 0, and then same clause. 2 or more Draconic chain links creates a fealty token. So the only issue you will come across, as Fang and Cindra, is getting to the right amount of Draconic chain links. Now, generally speaking, you swing once, you swing 2, and that is the second chain link. So it's not insanely difficult, but I would phrase it's telegraphed, right, for your opponent, so they know once you get to that second chain link, this is where some of those more impactful reactions come into play. So don't bother with the first one. We'll set up our blocks for the next one. That type of mechanic. Granted, this obviously is unconditional. It's just if you control, then you get the fealty token. Fire and Brimstone. So Fang's legendary. This costs 1 less 2 play for each Draconic chain link you control. So again, once you're up to your second swing, you can use this. Daggers you control get +1 and may attack with each of them an additional time. So definitely really nice because obviously, again, whenever you have it, it's just swing, swing, play Fire and Brimstone, right? It's an absolute no-brainer. So I feel like these are definitely just toolkit cards, and I am curious, have the Blitz lists been released yet, right? Because I feel like these would be the prime cards to give special treatment to, either as a promo or in the Blitz. I'd rather see them in the Blitz, but yeah, definitely a bread and butter card along with the Long Whisker Loyalty for Fang. Blistening Blade, target dagger attack gets +2 if you control 2 or more. Instead, it gets +3. So they are dropping off a bit, but again, you have the factor of these being Draconic attack reactions, not requiring you to spend fealty, also maintaining your fealty because you do have to play a Draconic card. So they're still really, really useful and nice. Brother of Flame, plays only if you have 2 or more Draconic chain links. Dagger gets +4, right? So 1 for 4. Again, if it wasn't in conjunction with Obsidian Firebane's effect, it'd be a little bit understated, but because they synergize so well, it still remains a decent card. Dynastic Dedication. This costs 1 less to play for each Draconic chain link you control. Target dagger gets +3, so more often than not, this is just going to be your 0 cost, right? +3 on your second dagger swing. So, yeah, just a nice filler card, predominantly because it's a Draconic warrior attack reaction. Imperial Intent costs 1 less for each Draconic chain. Target dagger gets +2, so you can use this on the first dagger, right? You swing, you get your Draconic chain link, and you just play it as a 0 for 2. So this one is a little bit understated, but it's just a guarantee that you can utilize it on the first swing and then go into your second swing. Scalding Eye. Now this card interests me, right? Because in general play, it's not that powerful, but for combo turns, obviously it is a little bit more exciting. So Scalding Eye, 0 cost. Target dagger gets +X, where X is the number of Draconic chain links you control. So if you're using it on the second swing of your dagger, or daggers, right, it's only a +2. So 0 for +2, again, bit understated, but then you have the synergy. But once you get into those later swings, right, if you're onto a pair of 4 swings, right, with Fire and Brimstone, then this is a lot nicer, because a +4 for 0, again, that gives that go again, and +1 is definitely good, right? Searing Gaze. Target dagger attack gets +2 if you control 2 or more. When this hits, mark them, right? So mark mechanic on hits is definitely okay. We do like our guaranteed mark, but yeah, +2, again, triggers the attack reaction and a chance to mark. So bread and butter card, right? You need those mark abilities. I'm curious to see if there's better statted-wise, right? We'll probably see. Sister of Fire. Play this only if you control 2 or more. Target dagger attack gets +2. So again, 0 for 3, basic stat line, and then just play it on the second dagger. Sizzling Steel, target dagger attack gets +3. If you control 2 or more, gets +4, so 1 for 4. Again, we're sort of just going around the same stat line and different ways to trigger them, which I still think all are pretty applicable to the deck, right? You could almost take a setup where you don't worry about converting cards to fealty, I wonder, right? And just having consistent turns of swings is good enough. Stabbing Pain. No, did I skip one? No, I didn't. Stabbing Pain. Target dagger attack gets +3. If you control 2 or more, it gets that on-hit mark. Why are they out of order then, right? Shouldn't it go Searing Gaze, Stabbing Pain, Sister of Fire, Sizzling Steel, or even them two alternated? Anyway, right, both are good. Just, again, more filler for what Draconic Warrior really needs. I mean, if we count them, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So, right, even if you had max copies of all of them, you still wouldn't have your full Classic Constructed deck. So, yeah, I do think all of them have some relative level of use, and definitely in draft, very, very impactful. Now, the Warrior Legendary. This is a very exciting card. If you see this in draft, you feel bad, right? If you're against this, I mean, because it's just such a nice shutdown. When this defends until the end of turn, opponent can't attack with weapons. So as soon as this comes out, right, if you're a weapon-based hero, like Cindra or Fang, right, your turn's shut down. Well, Cindra, not so much, but Fang, it's definitely a straight just, now you have to concede the turn, right? There's nothing else you can do. There's Draconic attacks, but I don't really know if you want them, right, as Fang. So yeah, it's a really nice legendary. Warrior definitely have the helm slot open, so in a lot of matchups this will do very, very well, right? Jagged Edge, target weapon attack gets +3, and then damage that this would deal can't be prevented. Definitely highly impactful with the meta, right? So yeah, will be a warrior staple. Because again, it's weapon, not dagger, so it's all applicable. Provoke, if you're attacking with a weapon this chain link, the defending hero reveals a card from their hand. If it's an action card, add it to this chain link as a defending card. Otherwise, they discard it. So, obviously, your opponent does have some choice. They can either, reveal something that's not an action card and gets discarded and maintain their action cards for their turn or for blocking. So, it's not as great as it seems, but it's still a really good card because either you're forcing a block, you can play this, once your opponent has fully blocked, potentially, right? And you're just siphoning an extra card, or you're getting that discard effect. So Provoke is also really nice. I feel a lot of the Warrior, Ninja, Assassin cards in the Majestic slot definitely do well across the board. Sharpened Senses. Go again, your weapon attacks get +1. If their power is greater than twice their base, they also get Go Again. Now, I don't think this is as necessary for Fang. It's still a nice card, right? Especially because they're one-attack weapons. But across the board, this is very, very nice for opening up some double attacks, especially with Dorinthia. Playing this with, an axe or something a bit heftier where you've got some other buffs to it is just great to get that Go Again and then have Dory's innate additional swing, right? Dice. Target dagger gets +1. Next dagger attack this turn gets +3. So split over, but this doesn't count as an attack reaction. On the second one, if you can turn it into Draconic, it's a +2 and Go Again, and then a +3. So yeah, it's decent. It's decent enough, right? But again, it's more so dagger support for everyone else, I feel, right? The warrior attack reactions. Twist and turn. Next dagger attack this turn gets +4. When this hits, you may attack with it an additional time this turn. So twist and turn, it's not a react, so it doesn't synergize so well with Fang, but it is definitely a very useful card in generating that additional swing with a dagger for anyone else. So again, this style of card is more so why I gravitate towards Quicksilver Dagger as your finisher, right? The dagger that you do actually want to go wide with versus opening with Obsidian Firevein. Agility Stance, Go Again, right? At the start of your turn, destroy this, then your dagger attacks get Go Again for the entire turn. Nice enough. Again, I feel kind of unnecessary until we get a few more daggers, right? Because if you're playing Fang with the Draconic Dagger, then you should have the right toolkit, because obviously you can't count on having this. And then if you're playing anyone else, you have to take Quicksilver Dagger, right? So yeah, if we get some more daggers, it'll be interesting. Flurry Stance, on the other hand, no, right? Start turn, destroy this, then you may attack with each dagger you control an additional time. So what we're seeing is value for taking 2 daggers, right, rather than mixing up weapons. So that is a nice mentality for LSS to have, right, to sort of offset the weaker side of daggers. But yeah, Flurry Stance, 2 additional swings. It's just fantastic going into your next turn. It is highly telegraphed, but then it also becomes a onboard priority for your opponent to disrupt, which means they're less likely to potentially disrupt your hand, maybe, right? Power Stance, Go Again, at the start of your turn, destroy this, then your dagger attacks get +1 this turn. So that is nice enough to stack up, right? Just converting your daggers to a 1-2 seems decent enough. And it's blue, it's pitchable, right? So in the late game, once your opponent's equipment is gone, you're either siphoning block value from your opponent, or it's helping get damage across. So I do like Power Stance. I like Power Stance, so it's Flurry Stance, Power Stance, Agility Stance for me in terms of rankings. Cut Deep. Next dagger attack this turn gets +4, and Go Again. This one's a little bit weaker, but again, more so a nice pump for other warriors with Quicksilver daggers. Hunt a Killer. The next dagger attack this turn gets +4, and when it hits, mark a hero, right? So we want mark. We want lots of mark as either, right? For Fang, you want marks for Filthy, as everyone else. That in conjunction with Twist and Turn, right? No, Twist and Turn is not the one I'm thinking of. What's the dagger one I'm thinking of? Take a Stab. Take a Stab. In conjunction with Take a Stab is nice to get that additional attack, right? Where were we? Knife Through Butter. Now, this is a very interesting card to me. So, next dagger attack this turn gets +4, and then whenever you attack a marked hero this turn, the attack gets go again, right? So that is very, very open-ended. And what it opens up Warrior to is maybe some sort of big package where, again, you mark the opponent with your daggers, and then you have a big card like Command and Conquer that now has unconditional go again. So yeah, Knife Through Butter is quite interesting because it's a +4, and then if you've also set up to mark with that dagger hit, for instance, becomes a huge priority for your opponent to block because, again, any attack attacking a marked hero gaining go again is huge, right? Points of engagement. Point of engagement. Next dagger attack gets +3, and then until the end of turn, your attacks get +1 while attacking a marked hero. So same thing, right? I definitely don't think it's as impactful as any attack having go again, but, right, as long as the opponent is marked, you're getting a +1 across the board. Sworn Vengeance. Your next dagger attack this turn gets +3, and then when it hits a hero, mark them. So if there was an ongoing mark, that would have been interesting, right? That would have followed the pattern, but that would definitely be too powerful, right? If it was just every time you hit with a weapon or dagger, probably have to be dagger, mark your opponent for a turn, would be fairly insane. But still nice enough, right? We just want more ways to mark, especially in conjunction with these cards as any warrior. Red Alert Visor. It's not as nice as the Assassin Ninja draft set, but still decent. So if an attack reaction has been played or activate this chain link, this gets +1. So you can block with it, and then if they react, this goes to 2, right? So they have to factor that into the reaction. So, in some fringe cases, it might stop them from reacting, or they might not rationalize it and forget about it, in which case the block still becomes impactful. It's nice. It's just, I don't think it's as great as potentially double blocking, right? And spreading out, having the flexibility and the control. Starting points. Attack reaction, destroy this, target attack gets go again, right? Just filler boots. I don't know if I really like it. If it's the only legs I had, sure, I'd take it. And then Perforate. Ooh. You may attack with target dagger an additional time, and its attack costs you 1 less to activate this turn. And then, for whatever reason, draw a card, right? So self-replaces, 1 cost, so potentially float 2 resources, a -2 to your dagger swings for the entirety of the rest of the turn, right? And then also 1 additional swing. So in Dory with daggers, I love this card because you have that initial, your hero ability, right? So this just can have a ton of value with the additional weapon swing cards. Savor Bloodshed. Next dagger attack this turn gets +4. Next time you hit a marked hero with a dagger this turn, draw a card. Very important to rationalize. They are separate, so it is just ongoing. If you hit a marked hero that turn, you will draw a card, right? So they're trying to find the sweet spot in how to reprint draw, essentially, and I think they're doing it well, right? It will be cards replacing cards and persistent ongoing effects like this, and it will probably never ever be again any card that allows you to draw 2 cards, right? Any card that allows you to easily go plus in hand, that's just way too broken for Flesh and Blood. In all honesty, right, with the way the game is structured. So yeah, cards like this are fantastic though, especially with all the draw that we're missing. So yeah, it's just, yeah, +4, right? On your next dagger attack, and then anytime you hit a marked hero for the rest of the turn, you get to draw a card. So the fact that it's just ongoing creates so much pressure for your opponent because it can become, they have to always block, right? If they're marked, this is just ongoing. It's a lot of value if you get it across. To the point, target dagger gets +3. If the defending hero is marked, say it gets +4. Just filler, right? But still, 0 for 4 is decent enough. Cut from the same cloth. Target opposing hero reveals their hand. If an attack reaction card is revealed this way, mark them. So we do like unconditional mark, right? So as long as they have an attack reaction card in hand, you get the mark across. Otherwise, it's just a 0 for +4. So yeah, I don't know if that's enough upside. Again, depending on the matchup, definitely worth taking as a free way to mark, and then just set up a nice strong starting dagger swing. Decision, target dagger gets +3, just stock standard value, 0 for 3. Scar Tissue, target dagger gets +3, and then when this hits a hero, mark them. No idea why these are together, right? Because, this is just a straight 1-up over Incision. But, yeah, +3 on a 0, and then a very impactful effect, right? So, yeah, force your opponent to block. Take a stab, target dagger gets +3, and then when this hits a marked hero, you may attack with it an additional time. So any additional swing generation is a high priority block for your opponent. So, yeah, what else to add? It's just nice. We want to swing as many times as possible. Now, a warrior trap, right? When this defends an attack with greater than its base, mark the attacking hero. So it's a very, well, I wouldn't say very, but it is easy enough to get off, right? And you definitely want mark as Fang. I don't know if you want it so much in this extent, but, just having defense reactions access to is nice enough, I guess, right? So 0 for 3, or potentially sometimes a free mark, right? To start off your turn, because you'll be marking them on their turn. So, yeah, still a nice card. Warcry of Belenar. Target Redan gets +2 this turn, and then the defensive reaction of damage rebound. So I do like this for Boltyn, although I am more tempted to try out some dagger stuff, right? Especially when a Perforate with the chest piece is 0 cost, right? Draw a card, and then just a very sizable reaction. Yeah. I gotta look into dagger Boltyn, but it's still a much needed toolkit piece for Boltyn that is highly flexible, either a nice strong buff for your turn, right? Get 2 swings off, and it's already a +4, so that's way above the curve for a 0 cost yellow buff card, right? And then of course the banish X cards from your soul, and the next time target weapon deals X or less damage to you, deal that much back, right? And it can't be prevented. So yeah, it's a nice effect, right? Could potentially win your games, right? As just you've got my HP low, now you have to worry about your HP, you're gonna overextend, and then I just reflect back to you. And technically, because, it's instant speed, this occurs first. So if you KO your opponent, their attack doesn't resolve, and they don't lose. So if they've got lethal, and that lethal is enough against them too, as long as you got enough cards in your soul, Warcry of Belenar wins it. Yeah, there we go. Warrior down. Hope you enjoyed. See ya.